Women Up Radio, designed to facilitate women's empowerment, improve your career, develop your talents, incorporate your passions, achieve fulfillment and success.
Hello, this is Anna Letitia Cook of Women Up Radio, speaking to the girls on the road about their quest to support women entrepreneurs around the world. Fernanda and Taciana are visiting 24 countries, interviewing women and researching the conditions, the business ecosystems, the challenges, and the advantages that exist in each country. So today we're visiting Israel. Hi, Fernanda and Taci, how are you today?
Hi, Anna. We're good. How are you?
Very well. I hope you have more sunshine than I do. I have rain.
So, it's amazing it's sunny here. It's sunny and beautiful here. So
well, you're very lucky. I'm jealous, right? So tell me, what's the general vision of business, women in business, and women entrepreneurs in Israel?
Israel, we were very excited to go to Israel. We've heard so much about Israel putting itself up there as a startup nation that we were really excited to learn the participation and the position of women in that ecosystem. And I would say we were positively surprised. I mean, if there's, for one specific reason, women in Israel, they really must participate in the economy for a very basic reason. They have very large families. And we are not only talking about the ultra-Orthodox or the religious families, even the secular women, they have large families. So it's naturally take them to the economy, to work, to do something, to be really active. And this have a very positive effect in the economy in general, of course, in entrepreneurship also. So it was really interesting. We interviewed both in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, very different ecosystems.
Yeah.
Very different vibes in terms of cities, of course. Mm-hmm. But the country in general, it seems to be very welcoming of women entrepreneurs.
Oh, excellent. So what does it really mean for a woman entrepreneur in Israel?
I think what we heard of the women that we talked to, they are very empowered because I believe pretty much everybody has to go through army. So they both receive training, leadership skills, and the idea that they have this time to grow up and to stand up for themselves. So they really come out of the army, and most of the women we talked to, with rare exceptions, went through army, and they see a lot of things that they learned through that time were able to help her in their road to entrepreneurship, how to be clear about their objectives, the passion, how to approach clients, how to negotiate, how to build alliances. A lot of things that we learn at business school that they were able to live it in the daily life while they were being trained.
Oh, right.
And I think there's another aspect as well. I mean, we have to take into consideration that Israel is a pretty new country, right?
Yeah.
So you naturally have a very diverse group of people there. Jewish people, Jewish family that, were living in other countries, at some point in life decided to go to Israel. So you have families and people from all different parts of the world now living in Israel with very different backgrounds, experiences. So it makes a very rich environment. And that helps, of course, as we know, a lot, entrepreneurship.
Yes. And Anna, we not only interview people from Jewish community, but also from the Muslim community as well. Yeah. And what we see on the other hand, Christians as well, they have to, in some way, to live together and to try to live the best as they can, accepting each other. And also with the Muslim that we talked to, they were very, propelled to study, to move forward in terms of educational speaking, professional experience. So all this idea that we have sometimes wrong thought of women in Muslim areas being kind of oppressed. We didn't find that. We know that there is, but the women that we talked to in Israel, they were amazing. They were brilliant in terms of academic curriculum achievements. Yeah. And they were, fasting, but at the same time they were doing their pitching about their companies and like with high hopes for the future and how they wanted to not only excel themselves and help other girls in their community to also move forward.
Oh, it sounds great. I think it's really positive if they're all working together, they're all being positive, they're all sort of integrating properly. That sounds good. And so what are the main factors in the business ecosystem here?
It might sound kind of weird what I'm going to say, but I think that, what makes a difference maybe in Israel specifically is also always this feeling that they have to survive. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, we have to make it up. We have to catch up. We have to do it.
Yeah.
So I think it's that feeling and that attitude that, we have to somehow make up for the time that we've lost for X, Y, Z reasons.
Yeah.
So I think it keeps driving the country forward. That it's not, it's no kidding that why they are called the startup nation.
Yes.
Because they are really, transforming the world and, science in so many aspects and contributing to that and pushing everybody along the way. So that helps to build a very vibrant and challenging entrepreneurial ecosystem. So you have, of course, a lot of incubators, accelerators, the support of the government. So it shows, it really shows. So that it's, Tel Aviv is considered one of the most vibrant entrepreneurial systems in the world. In Jerusalem, for women specifically, it's even more vibrant than Tel Aviv. You have more women founders of startups in Jerusalem than in Tel Aviv, which is was interesting to learn. Yes, according to the Global Startup Ecosystem Report, you have much more women founders in Jerusalem. Maybe, and one of the reasons that we can try to explain that, it's also because of the diversity. Not that the Tel Aviv is not, but Jerusalem, you can feel it.
Yeah.
And of course, you have religious aspects, social aspects that, to some extent, also contribute, to working together, to collaboration, to going the next step, going further. So it was really interesting.
Oh, excellent. And are there any particular challenges or advantages for women here?
I think that if we consider they are very diverse and they have a lot of issues in terms of politics and religion. And what we heard not only from Jewish community, the Muslim community, we were able also to talk to entrepreneurs in the Gaza Strip, not presentially, we did through Skype.
Yeah.
And that they have so many things that they have to be worried sometimes, that the best thing is not worry at all and just concentrate in whatever they have to do and do it the best way they can.
Yes.
So this mindset of we could waste our time thinking all the things that we don't have, things that we can't have now. But instead of that, they just choose to, deal with whatever they face. And with these elements, just, to keep going.
And of course, we have to be, we try to be as much as we could, of course, very sensitive to the political aspects of the region. But what we also saw and heard is that they are trying to work together. And when I mean that, I mean, Muslim women and Jewish, Christian, I mean, really to try to, for a while, maybe try to work it out and try to put aside their differences.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to build something together because they really believe that everybody can benefit from that. It's not easy. It's not easy. There's no easy solution, as we all know.
Yeah.
But it seems that it seems that their heart are in the right place. Let's try to make it happen because we can all make our lives better. So I think it's a huge thing for them.
That's wonderful to hear. That really is very, very positive. Because if they can do that, and if they can bring their different cultures together and learn from, sort of take examples from each other's different cultures, that's always a much more positive way of going forward in anything, whatever aspect it is, because then you get such a greater vision. That sounds great. Yeah. So what soft and hard skills have these entrepreneurs in common, or what have they had to develop?
Well, hard skills, they are very, as Fernanda mentioned about, their experience in the in the army, and of course I'm talking specifically about the Jewish women in that case.
Yeah.
It brings them such an advantage in terms of leadership skills and attitude and dealing with adversities. And basically we are talking about everything they have to face as an entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
As entrepreneurs. So that helps them a lot. That's the huge, huge advantage that we really felt that they have. One entrepreneur said to us, the army brought me perspective and purpose in life.
Oh, really?
So I really learned, the real dimension of these concepts. And this is key when you're trying to build a business, we believe.
And if we look like the Muslim community, what they say about skills, the business skills, when we think of if you have a service, if you have a product, it's very easy just to get shipped out of the country and to, do business with other countries. And because they have all the political issues, like people who are living in the Gaza Strip or also in the West Bank, it's very hard to get their goods to, just out of the ports, to fly. So it kind of it makes a very expensive and more bureaucratic process. So they have to think in many different ways how they're going to make it happen.
Yes.
These kind of issues, these kind of barriers, they are very resilient to not just give up and say, okay, never mind, let's do something else. But they just say, no, this is my business. I'm going to make it work. And maybe one day this is going to be changed. But by now, that's my reality. So they're very accepting from what they have it now, but also working hard to maybe this is going to be different in the future.
Oh, excellent. So, okay, my last question, as usual, can you tell us one key motivational difference in Israel, which is helpful to other women entrepreneurs around the world?
I think the uncertainty, how is going to be your life the next week. They always have this eminence of, we might get in a conflict. We might have this. And so they just, I think, have this brilliant attitude of let's live in the present. Yeah. Let's work to make it happen, and let's work with what we have it now, because maybe next week something
everything changes. So I think this is such a good lesson that everybody can relate. I would say, let's live it now. Let's make it work now, because sometimes we get so strained thinking about the future and what's going to happen in the future, and you cannot control it. But everything that's happening now, it's of course result of your actions, of your attitude. So worry now, make it happen now. And I think that's one of the probably the major lesson and that we learn in Israel.
Sounds good. Really sounds good. Because so many people focus on the future that they just forget to live now. They forget to enjoy it, do things. It's brilliant. Okay. Well, thank you very much for all